Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Purpose Living. How are y'all doing? How are y'all feeling? We are in a brand new year. This is the year 2021. So today I wanted to give you a makeup tutorial without I'm doing a voiceover, as you can clearly tell. I'm not talking in the video because it was early. It was a little bit early and I was actually listening to a sermon by Derek Prince. It was very, very powerful. You can check him out on YouTube. His sermons are pretty good. So I was taking some time to listen to that while I put my makeup on. So happy, blessed 2021. I hope that you are all in good spirits. I hope that you guys are well. I hope that you guys are looking forward just to be better, have a better hope and a better future. And we all desire good things. We all desire amazing things. We all desire things that our hearts desire. See, I use that word too many times. But the truth of the matter is sometimes what our hearts desire is not necessarily what is for us. So the most important thing is, especially if you're a believer, is to begin to ask God if we have stopped or if we have never. Ask God what is His will for us for the new year. We know we as humans or humanity look at, we take pride, we take pleasure, we get excited about a new year. And for years people have came up with New Year's resolutions and what they want to change, what they want to do better, different choices that we desire to make. But you ever often find that we were never able to fulfill all these plans, all these changes that we so desire to change? You ever thought of it? If there's one person that has ever fulfilled every change, every plan, every desire, comment below and let me know how that worked out. Give us the formula for that, right? And this definitely shows us that we are really not in control of our lives. We serve a God that doesn't control us. He gives us free will. But because He's the God who created us, there is definitely a way that God is able to protect us against even things that seems good, even plans that seems good, because He's the God that knows us. He knows our end and our beginning, and He already preordained and predestined a plan and a purpose for us. Like the scripture says, for I know the plans, some version says, and some version says, the thoughts that I have towards you, it is for good and not for evil, to give you a hope and a future. And the scripture that I like to follow up with that is I wish above all else that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. The thing about God and the thing about us is that God can see what's ahead of us. We don't see what's ahead of us. What we do in our minds is perceive what we perceive as good things that are ahead of us. If the Spirit of truth is not leading us to our future, more often we find ourselves in situations and decisions that was not for us. And it's a part of life. It's not to say that it's horrible and whatever, but I just feel like it's a part of life. It's a part of journey. And in saying that, life and journey in itself is not fully life and journey outside of God, outside of Jesus. And so I just hope that this year, I feel so weird saying that because it's something that we say a lot, but we will say it. I hope that this year that we all still make our our declarations, our plans, and have hopes. One of the reasons why we plan is because we're hoping for something better than or greater than what we had before. And I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think it's so important, and I know I can speak for myself, is that I pray that the plans are in alignment with God's will for my life. Because what a travesty it would be. We leave this earth and never get to fulfill the purpose that we are here for. And I know a lot of times life, I'm all over the place, but I just wanted to speak from my heart. A lot of times we go through experiences in life that can stagnate us, keep us at a standstill, cause us to feel like failures, to make us feel like we have failed and we can't pick ourselves back up and keep walking, keep moving, keep believing, keep hoping, keep striving. The journey of life in general, and especially the journey of a believer, is to be patient. Patience is what will keep us through the storms of life that will come. Patience is what's going to keep us in the midst of adversity, life's challenges, good seasons, bad seasons, good times, bad times. So I just hope that everybody looks at this year and beyond in a different way. I think 2020 has definitely opened our eyes. A lot of people curse 2020 because of the experience that the entire world has experienced all at the same time. This is not something that happened to one side, and one side of the world didn't experience it. Everybody's experiencing this big elephant in the room. We all know what it is, and it didn't go anywhere. It's still here, but at the same time, there's still a blessing in the midst of it. There's still the mercy of God in the midst of it all. I believe. I know that some of the news that we see on TV was very horrible. We hear about the deaths. We experience social and racial injustice. It was a rough year emotionally. Definitely. But the mercy of God and the goodness of God did not consume us all. And I'm not saying that all the people that passed away in 2020, they did not receive the mercy of God and they didn't deserve it, and they were not important as we are. I don't have the answer to that. God, at the end of the day, knows all things. What we don't know, He knows. What we won't never, and I don't think anybody will ever understand that. It happened to everybody. It happened in the body of Christ. It happened outside in the world. It just happened. It had no respecter of persons. Death, when it knocks at the door, it just knocks, and there is no escaping it. And so I am just in a mindset, and I just want to encourage all of us to just stay hopeful. My goodness, just keep hope alive. Hope is just being tested. I know that my hope that I declared very earlier in my YouTube journey was definitely tested at especially the latter part of my journey of 2020. Making two major decisions. One of them is, it's about relationship, and the other is about what you came into as a believer. What I came into, let me talk about myself as a believer, and having to walk away from two things that they were connected in one way, and another way it wasn't connected. But the fact that I'm still here tells me that there is still more. There is still a lesson to be learned, and I made sure that I this time around wrote down the lessons that I needed to learn in both situations, so I don't repeat myself. Oh God. So I don't go around the same mountain. So I come out of the wilderness of whatever it is. One of them is definitely not a wilderness. One of them is just definitely a growth, and I saw the growth, and I saw what God was doing in my life. So it's the same thing for everybody else. Whatever journey you go through and have to make decisions to walk away from or to step out of, take the lessons that you need to learn. Don't despise, even if it's something that just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look the best. It just doesn't feel right in your spirit when take the lessons, because sometimes God allows, the fact that God will allow us to go through something or to stay in something for X amount of time without snatching it up before time. And sometimes it's also us waiting for us to make the decision, but sometimes he just gotta come in and help. And for me, that was one of my situations. He had to step right in. And I think when God steps in a situation, that means the next step would have been really, really, really destructive. The end would be destruction. And I'm so grateful that even regardless of how I felt, how I was feeling, how I feel every now and then, that God, I can still have a smile on my face and a smile in my heart and joy in my heart that God is with me. God is still with me. God is still with me no matter what. And so what does 2021 look like? We don't know. We don't know what's ahead, but we do know that in all things to give thanks. To be able to wake up to see a new day, it's an opportunity to give thanks. We have roof over our heads. We can pay our bills. You have children. You can feed your children. It's an opportunity to give thanks. You have a job. Give thanks. There's 10,000 reasons to give God thanks for all he has done, where he has brought us from, and where he's taking us to. And so if you notice, sidetrack, I'm doing my makeup in a way that I don't think I've ever recorded before. And this makeup application was inspired by Jackie Aina. I like that. I won't do it on clients, but I will definitely do it on myself this way, because I like to do things different. I like to try different things, especially when it comes to makeup. So I think right here I am bronzing my skin with that ColourPop bronzer and blush, but it's not a blush for me, my skin tone, so I just use it as a bronzer. And what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm just grateful, and I'm looking forward to better. When God takes you out of something, he has to take you out for better. And the most important thing is that you learn. Oh my gosh, you have to take the lessons. You have to take the lessons. We have to take the lessons. Whatever it is that God has brought you out of, whatever it is that you look at as the worst situation ever, no, take the lessons. There's so many lessons to learn. And if we don't, I think I'm repeating myself, but I have to. If we don't take the lessons, then we will end up in the same situation. Different place, different person, same situation. So now that you have learned the lessons, whatever you're stepping into, you'll be wiser. You will approach situations with more discernment, and let your yes be yes and let your no be no. Don't compromise what does not give God glory. Don't compromise what doesn't put a smile on God's face. Don't compromise what is not an act of worship and pleasing unto God. Don't compromise what doesn't bless you but curse you. And so that was one of my biggest lessons this year. In the first part of my year, it was really good. It was really good in spite of, this sudden pandemic and whatever. It went really, really well. But the latter part was quite a bit of a struggle. But I made it through. I'm coming through. I'm going through it day by day and just trusting God to do what he needs to do in me and through me, so that I can come out on the other side of this like rare gold. Heyyy. So there's no plans, like I said, to this voiceover. I have no book. I have no outline. I just wanted to talk from my heart and to wish you all a happy, safe, blessed new year. And, you just want to spread blessings to everyone. Let's talk about the makeup, because I think I said all that I needed to say as far as, coming into a new year and seeing what's ahead. I don't know. We don't know. We just gonna see what the end's gonna be. We just gonna go through this thing, hoping, not in fear, not sitting down waiting for something bad to happen, but we still have to live. We still have to, provide for our families. We still have to do what we have to do. So we're not gonna wait around just because 2020 shook us, like really shook us. So we're just gonna go ahead, forgetting what's behind. Not forgetting. I don't want to forget what's behind. I want to remember it so that I don't forget that. Not with pain, not looking back with pain, but looking back with lessons learned, looking at where God has brought us from, looking at what God has brought us through, looking at the hand of God over our lives for a period of time. It's a time to reflect and look back and see God in the midst of every single situation, in the midst of the pandemic, and trust and be patient. Patience is something that we don't do well. Patience is one of the hardest things, especially if we're waiting for God for something, and that is personal to everybody. Everybody's hoping and waiting for something, but patience is one of a really good character trait that we can cultivate. What makes waiting hard sometimes is the other voices that talk around us, because they'll see that you're missing something, or something looks like it's lacking in your life. And sometimes other voices will try to be the answer to your thing that you want. And so waiting is good, but it's hard. I will not be the one to say that waiting is not hard. It's extremely hard. But the Bible tells us to wait and be of good courage. How can you wait and be of good courage? Wow. How do you do that? I think it's just it takes faith. It's choosing faith each and every day, having faith in what God's word. Because if we're gonna have faith in what we see around us, we're certainly gonna forfeit that patience. And the world is not making it any easy in these days, especially because we are in an age of technology and everything is quick, fast. Right now, nothing takes long nothing takes long anymore. You'll see land, an open land, and you know that they're gonna put an apartment building or a house there, and you'll see it this week, and by 6 weeks from now, the whole thing is up. Somebody done moved in. Everything is so fast. I don't understand. It's crazy. So especially for us, it's much harder for us in this day and age to wait, because everything around us is fast moving. Everything moves quick. Car soon start fly. You see the Tesla fly upon road. Everything is fast. Everything is quick. Everything in life is quick. So I think that trusting God is what it's going to take. It's really going to take that to survive. Even in this time, it's really going to take God. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. So I want to jump back into the video so I can talk about what it is that I'm doing. I think I'm carving out my cheekbones right there because I wanted a little bit of a bone structure, fake bone structure. So I used my powder to carve out my cheekbone so that my contour / bronzing looks a little bit more sharp, just a little bit, not too much. I didn't do it too harsh. And I'm using my P. Louise base right here to put on my eyelids so that I can prepare to put my eyeshadow on. And I think I used, yeah, my eyeshadow on. I used a few shadows from the Jackie Aina palette and a few from the Too Faced Just Peachy palette, and you'll see that further on in the video. After I use this base, or after I've laid down the base on my lids, I think I'm gonna go in and do my, that is an e.l.f. eyeshadow, not eyeshadow, an e.l.f. eyebrow pencil, but I don't like it, so I just used the spoolie because it was the closest one that I grabbed. That is my Morphe gel brow pomade that I use. I don't remember the shade offhand, and I'm using that to carve out my brows. I think I used it to do my brow entirely. Yes, I think I did do that. I usually like to cut out the brow application in my videos because I do have a brow tutorial in an early video, but it's okay, you know. This probably is for somebody that wants to see how I do my brow in the year 2021. Not much of a difference, same process. I think it's just with the foundation that I use a different technique, and I just like to try different things as far as makeup is concerned. I actually enjoy the creativity that suits me, that I like, because creativity is different for other makeup enthusiasts and makeup artists. So I just do what I like, you know, just as how I enjoy somebody else's process. There's some people that does makeup different that I thoroughly enjoy that I won't do per se, but you know, you just enjoy it. It's makeup. It's not that deep. It's just makeup. It's really not that deep. And just like you have car enthusiasts, bags, designer bags, regular bags, mixture of bags enthusiast, shoe enthusiast, house enthusiast, cars enthusiast, book enthusiast, poetry, all that. I'm just one that likes makeup a lot. I like the process. I like the application, which is very, very therapeutic for me. I'll just sit and do my makeup and there's no need to talk. I'll just probably turn on a sermon. I actually love listening to sermons while I'm doing my makeup, just to get something in, because I'm silent. I am open to soak in, and what better to soak in than a good sermon? A good sermon. And one of my favorite persons to listen to, two of my favorite persons to listen to while I'm doing my makeup, is Bishop Jacqueline E. McCullough or Derek Prince. Two of my favorite people to listen to while I'm doing my makeup. Their voice, something about their voice just really, it just does something to my soul. So I like listening to two of those people. Those two people. So I'm just finishing up my brows. Usually I would carve out my brows with a concealer, but in this case I did not. I didn't think I needed to, so I just didn't. I don't have to, and you don't have to. And gone are the days when you have to use concealer to carve out your brows. I think that most people do it because they just want to, and some because they don't have brows and they have to actually create their brows why they will do it. And even if you don't have brows and you create your own brows, you can do it, but it's very time consuming. So I think just do you. The most important thing with makeup is blending. Blending is important. Blending your shadows, blending your foundation in properly, blending your contour, blending your highlight. Just blending. Blending is very, 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 very important. That's the key and number one rule to a beautiful makeup application, a beautiful eyeshadow application, is to blend. Blending is your best friend when it comes to foundation or makeup application. So that is the Jackie Aina palette that I love, 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 love. I think it's one of the best eyeshadows that I have in my collection. It is not the best, but one of the best. And I'm so glad that she came out with this eyeshadow to serve the beauty community. Thank you, Jackie girl. Yeah, yo. I use ginger all over my crease, and I think I went into edges to deepen it a little bit more. So I did use two colors from the Jackie Aina palette, ginger and edges, and then I used the Too Faced Just Peachy palette to finish up the rest. Brushing that up into my brows, because that's something that I learned just recently, last year. Some of my favorite makeup artists, they would apply their shadows and they would give tips on why you blend the shadow, the color into the brow, take it up into the brow, and I like that look. I kind of did a soft glam look. So we're coming to the latter portion of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, like this video, share it like cook food, in the words of Wade Marshall. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until then, peace out. All right, bye guys.